Here we go. Dear 2014. Wow, where do I even begin? Hands down the most crazy year of my life. I've experienced extreme highs, extreme lows, and everything in between. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, to say the very least. I've lived and survived emotions that I didn't even know a human could feel. But with the overpowering highs, I have experienced some extreme lows. Suddenly, in what seemed overnight, my marriage came to a halting end. I have never experienced such heartache and depression in my life. Love is an extremely delicate emotion. It truly is something that the heart must feel, something that cannot be forced no matter how badly you yearn for it. God continues to bless me, and I truly see that He has absolutely no limits. I can psych myself, I can take care of myself, and I deserve that at the very least. In a detrimental event that could have caused me to lose all of my faith actually became stronger. I felt God pull me in like a magnet, telling me that everything will be okay, telling me that my destiny is already written, and that I'm in the palm of His hand, as long as I stay in good faith. My life will be nothing but amazing. This period in my life is something that I will never, in caps and underlined, forget. I have learned more in this year than I have in the entire 25 years that came before it. And you know what? I wouldn't change that for the world. Thank you, 2014, for showing me how smart I am, how blessed I am, and how strong I am. 2015, get ready for it. What's up, guys? So, was that not like a real blast from the past, or what? It's about that time again this year where I open up myself extremely kudos for this, because it's very like a very vulnerable position to put yourself in. And by the way, it's like freezing in my apartment right now, so I wanted to be comfy, and I basically just wanted to snuggle in my blanket that is making another appearance in this video. So anyway, watching last year's letter to 2014 got me very emotional, won't lie to you guys, but it also got me like very inspired and feeling very uplifted, and it inspired me to do the same exact thing this year. Now, I'm the type of person that when I think or when I want to express myself, I'm very scatterbrained, and I always feel like my mind goes a lot faster than my mouth can, and I can't form the words as fast as my mind can think them. So I did this last year where I kind of sat down and wrote a letter about the previous year, and sat down and just read it to all of you guys. I feel like it's a great way to reflect on your past year, and to be able to sit down and look this year at last year's was an amazing feeling. Like, honestly, it gave me goosebumps. So I absolutely suggest that if you guys make videos, to definitely do the same, or even if you don't, just film it for your own, like put your iPhone out and film it and then watch it after the next New Year's. And it's an amazing thing to do. My life in the past 2 years has been extremely all over the place. And if you guys did not watch last year's video, I definitely recommend watching that one before this. So I am gonna link that down below. And without further ado, I'm going to jump into what I wrote to 2015. So I have my phone right here. I typed it up and then I emailed it to myself. So here we go. Dear 2015, how I never saw you coming. The events that took place during this past year are more amazing than anything I could have dreamt up in my most magical dreams. I started this year off vowing to myself many things. And I must say, I'm pretty sorry guys, why am I getting choked up? I'm like the most emotional person you will ever meet, I swear. And I must say, I am pretty damn proud of me. At 27 years of age, I have finally come to a place where I'm not afraid to be me. I can honestly say that I like myself. No, scratch that. I love myself. This year, I didn't let anyone hold me back from being 100% me. Regardless of friends, family, social media, I was 100% true to the most important person in my life, which is myself. I'm proud to say I ended off this year feeling as connected to God as I did in the very beginning of it. I finally learned what I feel is the true secret to happiness, and that is trusting in God's plan. This year, when things didn't work out as planned, instead of stressing and getting angry, I trusted that everything was happening for a reason. As God has proved over and over to me, time and time again, if something isn't working out my way, it's because something even better than I could even imagine is in store for me. I've learned to somewhat control my anxiety and depression issues, and what's even more amazing is that I use this amazing platform that I was blessed with to share my learnings with people all around the world. This year I said to myself, Lee, you're gonna put you first and do things for yourself that you've always wanted to do. I treated myself to LASIK eye surgery, which literally was one of the best things I ever did for myself. Also, I finally did something I was contemplating for years. I found an amazing dermatologist who cured my cystic acne by putting me on a rigorous 6-month Accutane treatment. Although these things may seem nothing more than exterior and cosmetic to some, they were nothing short of life-changing for me. This year I told myself it was okay to be selfish, to do these things for myself. And you know what? It felt amazing. I shared these journeys here on my YouTube channel, which led to not only being featured and interviewed in blogs, websites, online magazines, and publications that I would never imagine I would be contacted by, but even more importantly, I was flooded by personal messages from people that I had touched and inspired. Never did I ever imagine that sharing my journeys would have such a huge impact on so many others. During the first month of this year, I realized there was so much more to me than makeup and fashion. I started a second channel, which was primarily focused on vlogging and lifestyle. I wanted it to be as real and raw and unedited as possible. I opened myself up and more intimately shared my divorce story. At first, it was something that I felt so ashamed of, so embarrassed by. I quickly learned that there are so many women out there that are just like me. I went from feeling alone and confused to feeling confident and unbreakable. My eyes were opened in a way like never before. And honestly, aside from my family, I have you guys to thank for that. You have impacted me in a way that you will never know. Almost at the end, guys. Almost there. The independence that I gained this year is something I never knew I had within myself. Like I mentioned last year, you really don't know how strong you are until you have no choice but to find out. I had fears of being financially stable on my own, of paying all my bills, maintaining a household, and honestly, I handled it all with ease. All along, I had it within myself, I just never knew it. And probably what is the biggest curveball of this year, God placed a man into my life when I very least expected it or wanted it. The very thought of trusting and deeply loving a man after having a failed marriage turned my stomach. To my extreme surprise, I fell so deeply, so purely, and so fastly into love with someone who compliments me in every single way. It's like God put a ray of sunshine into my life. It was in His plan all along. I first had to fall in love with myself and learn my own self-worth before I could give love to a companion. This year, I learned to do something in which I refused to do in 2014. Okay, we got the ugly nose drip going on here. This year, I learned to do something in which I refused to do in 2014, and that was to trust my gut. Through every up and through every down, trust my gut and never ignore it. As I sit down to write this letter, I find myself in an extremely happy place in my life. I'm 27 years old. I have an amazing family that I did not take for granted not one day in 2015. I have a support system of thousands and thousands who not only tell me that I've touched them, but who have taught me countless life lessons that have molded the way my mind thinks and the way that I live my life on a continuous day-to-day basis. I am in control of every thought that enters my mind. I am in control of my happiness and my faith. I am financially stable and completely self-dependent. I am a strong woman with a few battle scars and a very happy and exciting future ahead. I confidently know that God has amazing things in store for me for 2016. So that is the letter that I wrote to myself. And I wrote this last night before I went to bed. And I was thinking about it because I had literally just written it like 20 minutes before I went to bed. And I kind of had this thought, and it's something that I did want to share with you guys. I feel like if we had these watches that kind of looked like, say, the Apple watches, or these little devices that we wore on our wrist that, it sounds gory, but that had a countdown to our exact time of death, whether it be in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 60 years from now. I feel like if you had a countdown on your wrist to remind you that your time was ticking out, and if you knew that exact moment when you were gonna pass away or when your mother was gonna pass away, that all these little things that bother us, all these arguments that we have maybe with our parents or our siblings or a boss or a friend, they just would not matter as much. And a concept that I try to teach my friends, my partner, people around me is when you're on your deathbed and you look back on your life, is this moment really gonna matter? When something angers you, when something is stressing you out, when something feels like it is the absolute end of the world, when you're on your deathbed, is this even going to matter? We don't know how much time we have left here on this earth, and I feel like it is so important to know that you are in control of your own happiness. You're in control of picking on others. You're in control of being in a good mood. You're in control of uplifting people around you. Next time that something goes wrong in your life, or you're having an argument with your spouse or your mom or a boss, or something just feels like the absolute end of the world, A, try to picture that you have that little countdown on your wrist. B, ask yourself, when I'm on my deathbed, is this even going to matter? The answer may surprise you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I absolutely encourage you guys to do the same thing. It's such a way to reflect back on the past year, and I'm telling you, you might get goosebumps because I promise you that's what happened to me. So thank you all so much for watching. I think that you guys are so amazing. We have wonderful things in store for 2016. I'll see you guys soon.